Something I've observed among creators nowadays is that many are afraid of getting replaced by AI, which is very ironic because many of them are scared of getting replaced while completely relying on it. And many others still are completely scared of it and just avoiding it at all, or in general, sorry, like a person who is forcing themselves to stay poor because they believe that money is evil. But as I believe, and I will share with you how I use this, I use AI and ChatGPT specifically every single day, while I believe doing so in a way that I know will not replace me as a creator. And the reason for this is because both AI, just like money, is just a tool. And the thing is that you cannot get replaced by a tool unless you do the work of one. So let me explain with you with a specific example how I go about using AI without kind of degrading myself to the level of a tool and making sure my work stays unique and human rather than AI-like. So I'll use the example of a specific project that I'm working on now, which is called The Beauty of Life. And for context, this is a filmmaking project that I will be putting up on YouTube. And in The Beauty of Life, there is a section where V, that's just the character's name, which stands for voice, or more specifically, inner voice. And V tells F, and F, I am F, with V being my own inner voice, but it's like two characters in this project. And V tells F the story of life. And to write the script for this, I could have just done what most creators do, which is they just say to AI, please write me a story about the story of life. You know, like from the Big Bang to, me being born, they might say, or I might have said. And then they'll just take what AI spits out and copy and paste it into their script. I've seen this done by many, specifically X creators on Twitter or X. I've seen many do that because it's easier to do on text, but I'm sure there's plenty of other creators who do this in other mediums or forms. But let me tell you what I do, and I'll tell you the specific technique that I used, but then the fundamental, the foundation behind that is just the timeless long-term ingredient, the foundation. So what I did and I do is that instead of asking AI or ChatGPT to just spit out the script for me, I first of all studied all of the points thoroughly. So I studied the beginnings of life, all the way from the very beginning of the universe, from the Big Bang, to our Milky Way forming, and with it, our sun being born, to Earth itself, our Earth coming together and being forged out of the remaining dust and rocks that were floating around in the Milky Way, to the first cells emerging and learning and developing into eventually our ancestors and then us, and even just life in the womb. Like the fact that for you to have become alive, your sperm had to win the sperm race among 200 million others. I studied all of this in detail, and the thing is that most creators could not be bothered to do this because, well, they're just too lazy, they tell themselves. But here's the thing, they're not lazy, and you are not lazy, you're just not pursuing things that light you up. That's the issue here. Not that anyone is lazy, because if our ancestors were lazy, our ancestors would have died because they wouldn't be able to hunt and escape predators. And so we can't possibly be lazy because our ancestors weren't. It's not in our biology to be lazy. And so the reason I did all that studying is not because I forced myself to do so, it's because I naturally just wanted to. It's because I'm pursuing my curiosities. And I'm doing so to create with passion, my passion being filmmaking, and for, or all aligned with my purpose, which is to inspire and guide people to their full potential. And by the way, this stack, this order of curiosity, passions, and purpose is not random, because along with autonomy and mastery, this is what the author Stephen Kotler calls the intrinsic stack. It means things that are true to you and natural to you and that you naturally want to do. And so I pursued my curiosities, and with every project, I just pursue my curiosities. And by the way, this may seem off topic, but it is not. Because AI does not have curiosities, passions, and purpose. That is exactly what makes us humans human. And it's exactly what will make your work a breathing piece instead of a beige, a flat, a robotic piece of work. We as humans are a social species, and it's the very reason we are alive to this day, because if we didn't cooperate, and if we weren't a social species that craves human touch, we would have died out. And who knows, this earth could be filled with dinosaurs or some other creatures instead of humans as the dominant species. And so the lesson here is that you are unique. And if you want to stay relevant as a creator, the key is to look within and see that you are unique and use that. But let me just continue the process that I was talking to you about, because I went kind of in depth to explain something, but I'll finish that. So I studied all those topics in detail, and then I created a rough outline, not anything perfect, just a rough outline, just spitting out my ideas without worrying about perfectionism. I spit out all my ideas and gave ChatGPT the structure that I wanted it to use based on my points. And what this allowed me to do, this studying, is that if ChatGPT gave me a specific piece of text, which I realized, well, hold on, that does not sound correct, then I can think for myself. Because ChatGPT makes mistakes. It's not always correct, and it sometimes just acts stupid, to be honest. So I gave it all these pieces, and I told it to write me a script that I wanted. And then, even after that, after it wrote that script, I still did not just take that script and copy and paste it. I then added my own authentic voice to that. I adjusted the wording and the play and the flow to make it sound like me. In fact, I'm still working on this. And so no part of this is AI. It has a human touch. And in fact, it's a lot more than just a touch. If anything, it's completely human, and the touch that's in it is AI, just only a touch of AI. And this is very similar to baking a cake. If you were to buy a cake for someone for their birthday, and by the way, it was my birthday 2 days ago, and my mom did make me a cake, very kindly. And if you were to buy someone a cake from the store or from a shop, just ready-made, then, it has no heart in it. It's not personalized, it's not unique, it's not specific to them. There was no effort or time put into it. It's just banal, And that's what using copy and pasting from ChatGPT is like. It's like just buying a ready-made cake. Whereas what I did is I took the raw ingredients that I myself gathered, and then I made these ingredients into a nice dough that was ready for the cake to be made, and then I fed these ingredients, this almost ready cake, into the oven, with the oven being ChatGPT. And all that ChatGPT did is just transform these ingredients into a different form that is edible or usable or consumable, a lot nicer. And even after I took it out the oven, I still then decorated it to my liking. And I made it unique and personalized and with my own authentic voice. I put effort into it. And all this without forcing myself, because I'm pursuing my own curiosities and doing so and creating with passion and doing so in alignment with my purpose. All of this is just coming naturally from within, flowing like a river. And so that is exactly why I do not believe true creators can get replaced by AI, because true creators think for themselves and create from within uniquely. And by the way, a lot of what I just told you is stuff that Danko, who is a very, very large creator, well-known creator, agrees with. I heard an episode from him about this probably like a year or two ago, and this idea just came to my mind today, and I thought I would record my own version of this. So yeah, I really hope that helps you with your creating, and that you go out and do incredible things and express yourself uniquely, because you are unique. So remember, as always, it's already there within you. I wish you all the best. Be mega. Ciao.